Good evening, viewers and everybody watching this live broadcast. As we promised, today is Saturday, September 20th, 2025. Saturday evening right now is 6 o'clock. We are live broadcasting from Kerseringa. Thank you everybody for logging in, for tuning in. You promised that you will watch the live broadcast. That is our YouTube channel, our TikTok, our Facebook channel, and already people have started to wait for this special diaspora Bantaba with Esam by Fal. Of course, you don't need a lot of introduction. Esam by Fal is the party leader, Secretary General, APP-SOBEYAA. And any moment from now, he is going to join us here, and we will have a very wonderful conversation, I believe so. Esam by Fal is already with us right now. Thank you very much.
Hello, Keva, how are you?
Thank you for coming. And of course, we understand that the diaspora Bantaba is something that the APP-SOBEYAA have been doing, not only diaspora, but even in the Gambia. They went left and right of this nation, and they were crisscrossing, talking to young people, talking to people of the Gambia about APP and SOBEYAA. And you deem it necessary and fit to also say, yes, the diaspora is also a very important component. Why not engage the diaspora? And the diaspora said they wish Esam by Fal travel all the way to Holland, to Norway, to Germany. But thanks to social media, that you can connect with them even by sitting in your house. But notwithstanding, you still promise that you are going to make it up to the diaspora. And of course, this conversation is going to, what's the importance of this conversation is to engage the Gambian diaspora community worldwide in direct and interactive conversations with you, of course, and of course, present the vision and priorities of the Gambia, also to mobilize diaspora support and advocacy, networking, fundraising, and of course, knowledge sharing. Esam by Fal, it's all yours. We understand that you already set for the people of the diaspora. What do you have for them?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Keva, for hosting this important event. Assalamu alaikum, mbokay, ñi nekk Gambia ak ñi nekk àddina yépp, especially Gambian diasporans, ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi seetaan programme bi te ibadingol kamol be welcome na ñing programme la first diaspora Bantaba pour APP-SOBEYAA. Keba, before we delve into the program, I would like to make a short statement because I do believe that the occasion today calls for a statement, especially the recent events that have happened in this country. And for that reason, I beg your pardon to allow me a few minutes to say a few words. My dear brothers and sisters in the diaspora and at home in Gambia, I thank you all for joining this session, which I'm sure you're not attending not just out of convenience, but out of love for your homeland, our homeland, the Gambia. Because despite the distance, your hearts remain tethered to the Gambia. And today, I wish to speak to that heart. I greet you today, not just as a fellow Gambian, but as a son of a nation that is hurting, a nation that is crying out for justice, for dignity, and for a leadership that truly cares. Let me be blunt here. Our country is suffering. The Gambia is bleeding, not from war, but from something that is as destructive: corruption, neglect, and a government that has turned its back on its people. Every day, hard-working Gambian families wake up to face a system that has failed them. Mothers walk miles to clinics in the provinces that have no medicine. Fathers work tirelessly only to find their earnings swallowed by rising prices and broken promises. Our children sit in overcrowded classrooms on broken chairs, if chairs exist at all. Taught by teachers who themselves are also suffering, struggling to survive. And most sadly, when the sick go to our hospitals, they are met not with care, but with empty cells and limited doctors and utter hopelessness. This is not just a result of mismanagement. It is as a result of unpatriotic administration of a country. It is sheer cruelty. The truth is painful, but it must be spoken. Under the current administration, corruption has reached levels that have never been imagined possible in this country. I will not bore you with an iteration of all the corrupt acts that have been discovered in the country. A look at the website of the National Audit Office provides a gruesome list of terrible malpractices, terrible corrupt activities. Those are just a system of they are just symptoms of a system that has lost its soul. It shows just a vignette of the rotten underbelly that is responsible for Gambia's administration. And while the powerful enrich themselves, ordinary Gambians are being pushed into destitution. Families who once lived with dignity now live on the margins or even beg for survival. Our elders who built this nation with their bare hands now suffer in silence. Our youth, full of promise, are fleeing the country in search of hope elsewhere. This is not the Gambia we dreamed of. In 2016, this is not the Gambia we envisioned. This is certainly not the Gambia we deserve or desire. What hurts most is the indifference, the lack of empathy, the silence from those in power. When the people cry, the government turns away. When the people demand answers, they are met with arrogance and the arrest of courageous youths who there to stand up, who there to ask questions. When people ask for justice, instead of demanding it, they are told to wait. But we have waited long enough. To all of you who are watching and live in the diaspora, or even those at home, I say that your voice matters. Your love for Gambia is a force that can bring change. You have seen what good governance looks like. You know what accountability means. And you know what that a nation cannot thrive when its leaders treat public office as a personal bank account or a private fiefdom. APP-SOBEYAA stands for a different Gambia. A Gambia where public service means serving the public, where hospitals heal, schools educate, and justice is not delayed. A Gambia where leaders lead with passion, with compassion, not with greed, where every dollar is accounted for and every citizen is valued. We are not asking for miracles or the impossible. We are asking for honesty, for integrity, for leadership that listens and acts. And we are asking you, our brothers and sisters abroad, and also those abroad, to stand with us, to speak out, to demand better. Because the Gambia belongs to all of us, and its future depends on all of us. Let us rise together. Let us restore dignity to our people and hope to our youth. Let us build a Gambia that our children would be proud to call home. Once again, Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to all of you, and welcome to our fourth Diaspora Bantaba online forum. I thank you. I look forward to a lively and interesting conversation. Thank you very much. Allah Barak.
Thank you so much. And of course, we are receiving all your questions. They are coming. We are taking note of them. We are on TikTok right now. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. Yes. And your questions, we will read and keep them coming. Yes. That was a wonderful statement. And of course, as I will put it, the diaspora, most of these people are saying we need a strong coalition to make sure this system is out. Are you thinking of any way, apart from APP-SOBEYAA, if another party contact is, another political party contact, are you ready for another collaboration to make sure this system is out 2026?
You know, Keva, there is this notion that Barak would only be removed by a coalition. That is simply a complete fallacy. It is not true. If you look at Barak's numbers and his latest polling numbers, Barak is in the constant decline. But not only that, if you walk around town, this is just Good Testament.
Yeah.
What I was saying, the power's gone off. The power's gone off. This is just an example of what bad governance and corruption does to a country. Nothing works. So this is just a testimony to that fact. But nonetheless, we would use renewable energy. We would use other means in order to ensure that this program continues. Maybe they just have the statement that this powerful statement is coming from the city. You come back to the problem of you come back to the problem of one time in Tata Power ye la polva mole gamira mole jala polva ye telecom internet I don't know whether you hear about it, but it's internet also. But li ma doon wax moom mais dañoo góobloo nit ñi ne coalition rek moo fee génnee Adama Barrow ma ne leen loolu waxi caaxaan wax la rek pour yàq élection si ñoom pour kenn ku taxawal moom kenn ñi góobloo nit ñi ne kii du gagné duñ ko saani dem leen borom. But the reality is one person can win because this is first past the post. And even the latest polling, in spite of all the shortcomings in that poll, Barrow did not come first. APP-SOBEYAA came first, even though that is a part of the polling that's not talked about. Okay, but the majority support goes to APP-SOBEYAA. But that's a fact. I have consistently called for a coalition. And people will recall, a few years ago when I called for a coalition, I was attacked by both UDP and NPP. Because at that time, they thought perhaps the supporters who were engaged in that perhaps thought it was not in their best interest for ASA to call for coalition. But now everybody is asking ASA for coalition. ASA for coalition. Why? Perhaps maybe that is just testament of the fact that APP-SOBEYAA and ASA fast politics has grown so massively. Everybody is talking to us about coalition. But obviously, we did not call for coalition just for the optics. We called for coalition because we believe that a coalition would give us the best chance of removing His Excellency the President Adam Barrow from power. But that aside, it is definitely possible for one candidate to beat Adam Barrow. And I am confident, like other candidates are confident, that I alone can defeat Adam Barrow in the next election. Simply because he did a great disservice to Gambia. Everybody in this country is crying. People are suffering. Even those who are at the top are also suffering. So it should be easy to defeat Adam Barrow because he has plunged Gambia into a terrible state of affairs.
So, diaspora, we need one. Look at the world. We need this for African countries. We need to send books to the Gambia. So that the Guinea election, Mali election. You see that work. And this is not a possibility.
It is not only a possibility, it is mandated by law. The law says that every Gambian of full age and capacity has the right to vote. That's what the law says, and the Supreme Court has confirmed that. So it means that Gambians in the diaspora are also entitled to vote. And I think efforts have been made for that to happen. Hopefully in the next few weeks, a lawsuit would be filed requesting the Supreme Court to make directives ordering the relevant authorities and institutions to take all the necessary steps in order to allow Gambians to vote. I mean, if they can issue ID cards to Gambians in the diaspora, they should also be able to register Gambians in the diaspora to vote. There is no excuse that that is not possible. But of course, this government does not want it. Don't do. So we say, we them the ID cards to Gambians in the diaspora. Dafa am ci gaay da man day suma gëm waxuma ne li moy seen plan ne dama dem man suma gëm moy ne gaay dañ bëgg neutralize the diaspora vote because gis nañ ne diaspora vote bi would be against it. So ñu dem ci ay dëkk yoo xam ne foog nañu ni am nañ fa support ñuy register ñooñu ak ñoo xam ne sax nekk ci Gambie ci li ma dégg ñu wax di leen jox loolu nag déjà jox ni chance ñu vote. So ñooñu su fekkee ne dañ break for the incumbent party, then it can possibly neutralize the diaspora vote. So it's called vote party, but there's a lot of illegality in it. Filmmaker can do it. But suñu demee ba ñooñu doon nañ leen ID cards wax to registration vote. I want to believe the political parties will challenge their registration. There is evidence to show that they are not Gambians. But diaspora voting, I think this government is likely to resign on that, knowing that they cannot stop it. But even if they stop it, because they know that name is sending, among the interesting, we diaspora vote allowed. But ni imake Gambians in the diaspora be police la Katu, Ibela, Mol in Gambia, Kila, Yale encourage Furie in the Katu opposition. So, Sugai, Nangu diaspora voting, the Gambians in the diaspora police the government by voting for APP-SOBEYAA or a coalition of the opposition.
How many in New York, by far, and Sudan, Gambia, they have been working together, but it's a powerful force. And no one
am nga ñu leen jeewal rek seen wax ku ma ci gis rek am na moom bugga waaw te li olof dee wax ku rafetlee sa kanam so yow li nga bugga ñun nga advocate kii dina bugga kii jiitu kii dina bugga tele jiitu tele dina bugga tele jiitu waaye loolu yëpp is matters for later of course su fekkee ne lu mel noonu dina am mun naa am rek c'est possible but a lot of people come they are carried away by the polls they see separate polls. I think those polls are, I don't like criticizing people's work. I'm sure they invested a lot in it. But there is much more to be read in those polls than were described by the pollsters. More than one, I read Chuaman's analysis of the polls, and it gives me, one personally, a completely different perspective. A coalition, okay, that those polls, in my reading of it, based on Chuaman's analysis, if you look at it, the polling in the local government areas, the percentages that they provide, Adama is coming second, and Esafal is coming first. So if Esafal can beat him in those polls, then maybe a coalition would not be necessary. But based on those polls too, it's not even necessary to have a coalition of two to beat Kano, to beat Baba, His Excellency the President. Simply because one person was able to beat him in the polls, and that was me. But that aside, let's say, I and Kanye, Honorable Mama Kanye, just the two of us together, if you pull our votes together, according to that poll, we will beat him massively. Okay. All right. It's even worse if Honorable Talib Bensouda is also in the mix. So the three of us, I think, would be too strong a force for him. But that is just according to the polls. We don't know what is going to happen. I am confident that there would be a coalition. I cannot talk about the configuration of that coalition. I cannot talk about which parties, individuals, or entities will be involved. But one thing is clear, is that Gambians want to see a coalition. And I hope that there will be a coalition.
We are live on our TikTok pages, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, all over our social media sites. Of course, it's now time to check your questions. Just as I said, you've been following our social media pages and your questions have been coming. We have been monitoring them. And it's time to carry some of the questions you have been asking. As I usually say, many Gambians have lost faith in political processes. What concrete system will you put in place to ensure that your government delivers on reforms where previous ones failed?
Society programs and political parties here. You see, buddy, is just a long list of promises without any measure of success, without any plan on how to achieve those promises. Why not? Society, the blueprint of APP-SOBEYAA, the Faneka, a completely different document. Completely different document in the sense that it outlines the goals and it sets out the steps to be taken to achieve those goals and how to measure success. So that by itself shows that we are completely different in our approach to these things compared to other parties. That's why I say APP-SOBEYAA is the solution to Gambia's problems. We just don't say things. We show how it can happen. So the reforms that we promise, we would put in place a results-based governance system.
in which every office, important or significant official, from cabinet ministers to permanent secretaries, would have goals to achieve, and they would have scorecards and be graded. So you maintain your job as a result of your hard work. If you do not deliver, the people will fire you. So we'll have a system of scorecards. And we would also deliver on the legal reforms that we would promise. I mean, I was the counsel to the TRRC, and I think there is no institution in Gambia that has recommended greater reforms than the TRRC. And I have been an integral part of it. And it would be my responsibility, of course, to ensure that these things are fully implemented. That alone can transform democracy in the Gambia. And I am ready and willing to champion that.
Okay. And this follow-up question is saying transparency is key to rebuild trust. Will you commit to accept declaration not just for yourself, but to all your ministers? And how will you make sure this is enforced?
Demand themselves beyond asset declaration. Asset declaration is no. So I would have it, ministers, permanent secretaries, up to maybe principal assistant secretaries. It will be the assets declared. But we will not stop at that. Tell them no. Then go ensure that we have lifestyle audit.
What is that?
Lifestyle audit is we want to see that this person is not living beyond his means. If you earn $50,000 and you live in the life of someone making $500,000, we want to know where that money is coming from. By telling my brother, fee. Chiteka. Danga gis ko am liggéey bu ndaw mu ngi dawal moto bu rëy fan la ko jëlee ñun bëgg nañ ku ci nekk am dara waaye am ko légitimité ba pare bu mu nekk at the expense of the people. Nit ñi lu ñëpp bokka doo ko jëlal sa bopp moomal ko yow kenn so loolu nga woo stop la ate kela ko kenn Gambia. So beyond assets declaration, and all senior government officials would have to make assets declarations, but we would also be doing lifestyle audits. And not only that, we would establish an anti-corruption task force, or in addition to the anti-corruption commission. I just been an example, Senegal. Senegal send customs, which is Douane. They have inspections unit within the port, but they also have inspection units outside the port. They call it Dakar Exterior. They are at liberty to go and question every custom delivery, any custom delivery outside the port. So if there is some corrupt activity in the port, those people can detect it outside. And then you have to pay penalties. We can have things like that in Gambia. That would also reduce corruption significantly. But what I'm trying to say is, corruption is so important for us. Corruption is one of the major reasons for the backwardness of schools are sitting on the floor, some are not having desks, some are not having proper teachers. Corruption is the reason why we have poor roads, why we do not even have good hospitals in the provinces. So we have a reason to fight corruption and ensure that we bring it down to the lowest possible levels. I am prepared to put in place all necessary measures to ensure that we bring down corruption to a level that is manageable. My objectives would be to eliminate it. Gambia now stands at 98th or 97th position. for corruption. All right? Our score in the corruption index is the corruption perception index is 37. The average in our region is 33. So it means, therefore, that we are a little better than those in the sub-region. But I'm not satisfied with that. If we are all poor, I'm not happy that we are poor. I want us to improve. I want us to be in the top 50 clean countries in the world. So that means we have a lot of work to do. But then, to fight corruption, it's not just institutional reforms. You have to also attack the mentality of the people. You have to address the mentality of the people. So that puts the idea of corruption in us. We have to change all those things. We have to change the cultural practices that enable or fuel corruption in our country. So we have to deal with that. But also, we have to put our people in a position where they would not have reason to be corrupt. If you pay a police officer $5,000, you pay a teacher $7,000, you know that you are not paying them livable wages. If they become corrupt, you are the cause of it. So this is something that we need to change. But also, changing that could be interlinked with public service and civil service reform. If you reform your services, you have lean and efficient services, and you pay them well, you pay them enough, then they can really do their work properly without having to be corrupt. We subject them to the indignities of poverty, and that compels them to be corrupt. Yeah. I am sorry. When I see our police officers, I feel their pain. His salary. It's almost, what has changed is that our government is no longer able to pay our people properly. Ndax tam hejna yakalante bi nekk ci kaw la ñoom ñi nekk ci kaw di fay seen boppa fat salaries, the executive fay seen boppa fat salaries, ñu fay top level judicial officers fat salaries, fay members of parliament fat salaries, ñi ci des ñu fande. So ñi ci des you fend for yourself. The disparity is terrible, and this is one of the things I want to change. Okay. The disparity between top officials and junior and middle level officials, the disparity in terms of salary is so huge that it is mind-boggling. It's like 500,000 for the president and 5,000 for his driver. Yes. It is mind-boggling. It is not just it's not just insane. It is cruel. It is terrible. And these are things that I am prepared to tackle. I want to put in place a fair and just society, a society in which every Gambian, no matter your surname, no matter your religion, no matter where you come from in the country, no matter what language you speak, you should be able to make it in this country if you work hard and you play according to the rules. This is why I am going into politics.
Somebody is saying cost of living continue to rise, hitting the poorest the hardest. What immediate measures will your government take in the first 100 days to ease this burden?
Well, I mean, we have a terrible crisis in the cost of living. But it's just a symptom of economic mismanagement. Let's look at the Dallas. You know, when I appeared before Peter Gomez, Coffee Time with Peter, I said to Peter, before December, the pound sterling would hit $100. Well, it's now already $100 to the pound sterling. Can you imagine, my brother? My brother's leader for Garao. Man doon foog ne xëj na loolu December laa am waaye fi mu nekk am na ba pare dëkk bi waa Gambia pound sterling bi is $100.
loolu lan la wone
mu ngi mel ni rek ne ñi fee aan $10,000 ñu teg ne ñu ngi jékku ñu £100 la ñoo téye. It's a shame. It's a shame. We have to do something. So the reason why our cost of living is also uncontrollable, it's because the dalasi is on a free flow. Dalasi is depreciating every day. When Barrow took over, the dollar was about 43, between 43 to 45 dalasi. The dollar. Fimneka, it's 74 to 75 dalasi. It means, therefore, that during Barrow's tenure, the dalasi has depreciated almost 72%.
That's too bad.
So, that is sheer economic mismanagement. It's like they don't know what is happening in this economy. So, the cost of living would continue to rise and rise as the dalasi falls and falls. Simply because also, we import almost everything that we eat, from tomato to jahatu. Lu nekk la ñoo import. Our import bill as of last year was almost 300 million United States dollars. Naka la cost of living be? The improve? It will not be. It will not improve. What would I do if I am president? First is we would invest massively in agriculture to reduce our importation of food. That is a given. But also, in the first 100 days, there are lots of things that one can do. Okay, there is import-free, duty-free import for, say, rice, sugar, and certain basic commodities. But we can do better than that. We can stop VAT on food items. We can also give subsidies on certain food items. But those are cosmetic solutions. The more durable and more permanent solution mooy su fekkee ne ñun dañoo béy li ñoo lekka nii na baluwo be dokuwo la Gambia jang nte $300 million kila nang bantala pour ka domoro import. So unless and until we do that, we would continue to suffer this problem. But my brother, also we have to put in a bit of pride in this. Understand? Ñun dëkk yi nga xam ne ñu ngi am civil strife, ñu ngi am war ak yooyu, dëkk yooyu ñoo dundal. Ñun mi nga xam ne amuñ woo dara josuñu. It is embarrassing. I think it is almost a shame, really, that is happening.
Most of these young people are taking the back way, and I think it's lack of employment. Many politicians will tell you, if I come to office on employment, I'll create a lot of job opportunities. And some people will tell you, when this politician comes to office, it's wahead. They cannot take care of the youths. I don't know whether you have any program for young people of the Gambia that if you come to office, this back way might not be stopped, but it can be minimal.
I think suñ problem mooy nguur gi amuñ plan for the youths. We have to be honest. Even little projects yi am sax, the implementation is questionable. Okay, suñ amee sax circular migration program, for instance, ne nañ yóbbu ay nit Spain to do farming work. So ñëwee jox ko ñoo xam ne musuñoo duga ci farm. They've never set foot on a farm. What is going to happen? You think they will go and do farm work? They will not. So gisee xale yu bari daw sa Spain. Probably because they have never worked in a farm. So jëlee doomi yaay compete ka jox ko, regardless of whether mus naa duga farm or not. Nga jël koo xam ne papa mu ngi support party bi, nga jox ko job bi. But this is the problem. Gambia is the place bi nga xam ne dreams, projects and plans dañoo ñëw Gambia pour dee. This is the place where these things come to die. Why? Because so faced with corruption and demands for bribery in order to get implementation, it dies. Mba, it is implemented in such a way that it is just going to benefit a small segment of the society. Xam nga ne these jobs in Spain, suñ ko joxoon farmers, it would not be a problem because they're used to farming.
Yes.
Waaye soo ko joxee ñoo xam ne ñu ngi juddoo Banjul yaroo fa musuñu woon ba nga jox ko koo xam ne xamul dara in farming because of is connected to the party. I'm not saying that's what happened, but there are allegations or rumors that that's what happened. So su loolu happened, they will. But for us, really, we are committed to the youth of the country. Look, 65% of Gambia's population is youthful. If we joke with that demographic, it means we are joking with the future of this country. So APP-SOBEYAA is the only political party in Gambia that has committed to spending, to investing $50 million, at least $50 million every year on the Gambian youths for the first 5 years. And that is a minimum because the Gambian youth deserve it. Not only we want to train the Gambian youths to be world-class professionals in every area that they are interested in, be it mechanics, be it plumbing, be it electricals, be it medicine, be it nursing, be it whatever. We want to train them to reach high international standards. They will reach high standards. But soon you could Gambia and you gain then getting take up to the game can do them before. Yalong Keba, the reason why Gambian didn't will became not in a bar. Because Imam Beaches, Imam Dokos, okay, Jamal Day, if you tell Europe, if you see that Philippine Campo, Imam Dokos, Imam City, no country wants that. European countries are coming to Africa and taking professionals, African professionals to their countries on visa-free arrangements. Why not Gambia? Even in Gambia, they are taking Gambians who work in hospitality. You know why? Because we have a good hotel management, hotel school. Good school. We have a good hotel schools, and a lot of Gambians have finished, completed their training in hotel school. And therefore, the Gambians are able to get jobs and use it. So if we do well, if we train Gambian youths in important and relevant areas, they can always get jobs in Europe.
You are a non-lawyer, and recently we saw this brouhaha of the Accountant General's removal. So many people saying it's unconstitutional. In fact, we saw you make a video advising the presidency or advising the government why that removal was very unconstitutional. Do you still have an advice for the government for that?
I think for Gnani, Gambia Munchi, Buta Bumiti. Parce que musuma foog ne dinañ egga situation boo xam ne nguur gi dina dem ci offices di génnee its employees di leen sànni ngir bëggul leen. What inconvenience does this guy pose to the government? What inconvenience? Jox naa la liggéey bugguma bi nga ma jox nii doy na ma loolu nag wax dëgg ak yàlla warut a doon problème pour kenn. Why I have heard rumors ikoye imamul kii ñingaayoo kan ye top government officers kii ñingaayoo kan ibe kumbo kan ne kasi momuta ite fanan why ñin do ko bula ñin promotion do ta ite fanan. You know what, I have never seen such an important professional in Gambia. The government went to the extent of sending delegations to beg the person to accept another position. I think there is more to it than meets the eye. Affaire yi xeeñ na. Asum kantale na. Femba koto. Mi molma mi no. Problem be jede. Malo gune problem. Bari min ne ka man sa kunda la fenkol kis. Sunyaro be dami min ne ka kis. Tumado ay fenne je. Iman la fi ay tumado. Iman la fi ay fin xawma daal lan moo tax waaye kii daal nekk na ko important ci ñoom dañoo yónni imaam ak ay kilifa pour ñu dem ñaani pour mu bàyyi place boobu rek affaire bi doy na waar. But the important issue here is that we should not allow our governments to violate the law. And perhaps I should take this opportunity once again to speak directly to His Excellency the President. President Barrow, you swore an oath to respect and uphold the Constitution of our country. It is your sacred responsibility. It is your duty to do so. You have heard the sentiments expressed all around the world, from professional bodies to lawyers, to law bodies, law organizations, private individuals, your friends and your foes, all alike, telling you that your action is violating the law. President Barrow, if you are a respecter of laws, if you are a respecter of people, if you are a respecter of Gambians, uphold the law. If you don't, Gambians will have every reason to punish you come 2026 for disrespecting them, for violating our Constitution, and for not taking us seriously. A word to the wise is enough. Thank you.
Very soon we will go and check your live questions that you are sending, and of course we will relay them to SR by your file, Party Leader Secretary General, APP-SOBEYAA. But I just have two more questions before I check your live questions. The education sector, a few months ago, we just met about the University of the Gambia. They were happy with that. I think what was said is sensitivity or whatever they call Holland, or generally in general in the country they call it Holland. What message were you trying to send there? And did you still apologize, or do you think there was no need for apology there?
Well, I am surprised by this. I believed that I convey in a private conversation the feelings that quite a number of Gambians, PhD students themselves, have about the quality of education that they receive ability. It would say that way, I am sorry. And from my heart, I am sorry. I did not mean I was conveying the sentiments that I believe that many of them have. And ever I have traveled around the world, I met many university graduates, and they are carrying Gambia's flag very, very high in the international scene. They have earned my respect and the respects of many around the world. many. Without them, my work would have been almost impossible. I say look, let's just look at one sector. In 2005, Gambia had about 70-something medical doctors. 2006. Now Gambia has over 200 medical doctors, thanks to the UCG. The doctor who told me to remove my father from Serekunda hospitals because he was going to die if he wasn't removed there was a graduate of UTG. And I thank her so much because she's demonstrated ethical considerations, but great medical knowledge. What she told me was exactly what happened, and I am thankful. So for me, I hold UTG graduates to the highest regard. But that doesn't mean that everything there is perfect. I was merely lamenting what I believe was one or more of a few of the problems that existed there. And that is a sentiment that is shared by many from them. But I think that much as we appreciate the contribution of UTG to Gambia's workforce, which now I think almost top-level officers should account for almost 50%. You can't minimize that. So much as we recognize that, we should also recognize that we can do better. There are problems in our education. We can do better. Education cannot do well, especially modern education, without investment of the right amount of capital. Instead of spending our resources on crazy luxury things and per diem and travel for the we should invest in the right priorities. Education is one of them. Teachers should be paid well. I know a lot of UTG students who work at night in order to be able to pay their fees. These people should be put on scholarships. Why can't we have free university education in Gambia? A lot of countries have it. Why can't, if we put the right investment, we should be able to have that. My complaint was about the fact that the quality of education we have is a function of the resources that are invested in it. And Gambia, we should take education seriously. We should provide the right education to Gambians, the education that would make them relevant, not just in Gambia, but around the world in this 21st century. We want Gambians to be competitive wherever they go. So that if they even go to Europe or they go anywhere abroad, they would be able to hold their own in comparison to anyone else. This is really my objective, and it is achievable. And I do hope that, I would have the chance. Well, there we go again. Power is gone in Gambia, so we have to now use alternative energy. We have to use solar in order to get things going. But this is what happens when you do not invest in the right things. But I do believe that 2026 will bring us changes, and we'll be able to take our country back and invest in the right things for the Gambian people.
Having a conversation with Esa by Fall at his residence at Kersering, and any moment from now, I'll be taking your questions direct. I'm seeing one or two here already sent by Fall, and of course, if they are coming please let me know so that I can relay them to Esa Mbaye-Fall. The UN General Assembly, I think this is a meeting done in the United States, and most of your interviews, you've complained that sometimes some people go and attend these conferences and they don't necessarily do nothing there. They don't even need to go. We've seen some reports, we are not sure how correct they are. They are saying that they rejected over 25 people this year to go to the UN General Assembly. And Esa Fall have been talking about this and saying you take A, B, and C to the United States, to the General Assembly, and they don't even know what's going on there. So were you surprised that this year they've rejected over 25 of Gambian diplomats, I'll call them, because maybe they'll all have their diplomatic passports to go and attend this meeting. Are you surprised that the U.S. Embassy is saying that most of them were not qualified to go and attend these meetings?
Well, I am surprised that they were denied visas because these would have been applications made by Gambia government itself. But I am happy that they were denied, if they were denied at all. And I wish that the U.S. government was doing this much sooner than now, really, because a lot of resources are wasted on these trips. Just imagine, I understand a few years ago, a huge delegation was sent, almost 85.
Yes.
So yow nga yóbbu 85 nit UN General Assembly ñooñu lan lañ faa def lan lañ faa def foofu xam naa fa de liggéey naa fa liggéeyuma General Assembly sax Security Council laa liggéey mooy woon suma docket waaye obviously General Assembly ñëpp a faa nekk so but I can assure you ne délégation su mag yi yëpp ñi ci ëppa yëpp duñ dee gis sax the insides of the UN building.
Most of the delegates.
Duñ dee gis the inside of the United Nations building. Because loolu taxu leen a jóg dañ dem uti shopping ñii dañ leen jox defal rewards rek pour ñu dem gis bitim réew naka la mel gis Amérique naka la mel waaye nekkul ne dañ fa dem pour def benn liggéey xam nga am na vidéo yu génnoon bu yàggul last time bi ma wone ne ñeena ñi dañ dee dem rek di wër di seet taax yi ak affaire yooyu am ku génnee benn vidéo wone members of the Gambian delegation so really this is part of the wanton waste bu nekk ci dëkk bi ñun dañ am nguuri yaaxa nguuri naafuloo pisir pasal ñi mu man sa kundaalti mi yaa lonko aka mool la ko doo tiñaa those 25 people ye min bali visa la ni imanta Gambia government be munele misla ite fen misla so they won't lose anything so ñooñu dañ leen dugal ci loolu rek pour yóbbu leen but amuñ adding anything to the delegation demuñ fa pour perform any jobs man Yaya Jammeh lu ko nit wax nañ bàyyi xel ne léegi daf daan def yu correct parce que man time am musuma gis Yaya Jammeh ñëw fa with these huge delegations at least nekk naa fa 2 years maybe other years yes waaye man years yi ma fa nekk musuma gis Jammeh ñëw with such huge delegations what has changed it's the same work so ñun ku amul lu doy bul waste ñun nag amuñ lu doy ba pare di waste suñ fa jógee dem téye pot dem di wër di ñaan xam nga loolu tam dafa doy waar
what are your expectations 2026 and in case Gambians in the diaspora are not allowed to vote, what can they do to make sure changes happen here, and what can they contribute just in case they are not allowed to vote state?
Well, they have their voice, they have their pockets. And so he who pays the piper calls the tune. So they can influence their families. Mun nañoo influence their families. Isafo Molyeko, well, I'll say vote for.
You can influence,
yeah,
vote,
individual or that individual. So, I mean, there's a lot the diaspora can do. They can help opposition parties. Uh, they can also encourage individuals to vote a particular way. So the power is not back on yet. We are using alternative energy. We're using batteries and solar.
Yeah, and that's why very soon we'll wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah. So the final question will be still in the diaspora because this program engagement is for them. There somebody saying, what message do you have for Gambians who feel divided today, and how can the diaspora help in promoting cohesion?
I think every Gambian has a role to play in promoting cohesion, and we are tending towards dangerous times. You know, when you have divisions based on ethnicity, religion, and politics, I think that is a dangerous recipe. And I pray to God that we do not experience in Gambia the problems that we see happen in other countries. I have worked on war crimes, crimes against humanity, and things like that. I know firsthand what political discord coupled with ethnic problems or religious problems, I know what it can portend for a country. I pray to God that none of this would ever happen in our country. But all of us have a role to play. Patience and tolerance, respect for others are things that values that all of us should imbibe. And I think it is incumbent upon every Gambian to try to live by those values, including those Gambians in the diaspora. One thing I can promise Gambians is that at the TRRC, we made important recommendations on how to achieve this. And I promise you, Gambians, if you would elect me into office as your president, I would completely and fully implement the TRRC recommendations. And I would work for you every day to ensure full reconciliation of the Gambian people. I would also ensure that all those people who are victims of past or historic violations are given the right reparations that they deserve. I would want to instill in Gambians that no matter our differences, we may all speak the different languages, we may all be in different religions, we may all come from different parts of the country, we are still one people. We are the Gambian people, and I would make that an important value for all of us.
So some of them will not join the live as soon as we start. So Melvin Roberts is saying, my question to Honorable Fall is, are you ready to join forces with UDP and other opposition parties in the run-up to 2026 elections? I think you talked about it.
I did talk about this, Melvin. I am ready to join any coalition that makes sense. I'm ready to join any coalition that would serve the best interest of the Gambia. The important thing is not me. The important thing is what that group of people would mean for Gambia. I am ready to join a coalition whose primary and sole objective is to work for the best interest of the Gambia.
Thank you very much to all the people who, of course, joined this live, all the people who watch. We are really grateful. Unfortunately, Naweka has been going on and off, and of course, that's why we are trying to rush this live. We are supposed to be here until 7:30, but it's exactly 7 o'clock right now. I think most of the questions are answered, and we wish Naweka was with us so that we can Okay, local language close na. Esa kon bala ñu dem ñu nga tek ci local language ci tamit Olof ak Mandinka, like what are the expectations for you if you come to office 2026, and are you ready for any coalition 2026? And many people are mentioning UDP. I don't know for what reason.
Well, I'm sure they are mentioning xam naa ne dañoo tudda UDP rek parce que xam nañ ne UDP parti bu am solo la ci réew mi bokk na ci parti yi fi gën a yàgga so if ka mu UDP fole ɗon kaatu UDP keta parti timi ya lonko a important ta Gambia banko kan andung ameta jang wolatinna ika ñini pour nga coalition ke pour ñing UDP lafita fola Gambia mol boye ko kuwol be kela kan UDP problems jama be je nka moy ñaame mbe ala dani la ñing kuwol be seban ning kayro kono andung Gambians ye ñimman sakunda min be jang ya do ku ñaajube ye Gambia la alhaalo consider ye Gambia consider ni tata ballot box auto December 2026 ise carte fay ifangoye munatin na nga wof ibela interest le kantakan ni ye carte fay moye mi ya lonko atenala pour que la interest kanta ye la carte fay di wax nit ñi rek ne 2026 mu ngi ñëw ku ci dem sànni ji karta na nga sànnil sa boppa karta li tax ma wax loolu mooy ne danga seet lan mooy sa njëriñ ak kana mun a taxawal sa njëriñ nga sànnil kooko karta soo sànnilee nit karta rek ngir ne sànni nga karta rek pour kooku parce que danga ko bëgga soo moytu yàqa nga sa karta ñëw nag ci yëfi coalition parce que wax jooju mu ngi ñëw di ñëw rek
Coalition mu ngi jeex ñu ko la
mu ngi ñëpp a ngi laajte yëfi coalition yaakaar naa ne day Gambien yi dañ bëgg a gis coalition parce que Gambien si dafa nuroo dañ bëgg a am certainty ne Adama Barrow fas bi day dem dañ bëgg a gis ne daal fas bi day dem